Hey guys, Roman Reaper here. So I just watched Ghosted on Apple TV Plus. I was kind of intrigued to check this out. It seemed like a real fun, easygoing action comedy. I wasn't expecting anything too great from this, but it's got the charm of Chris Evans and Armas. So I figured, what could possibly go wrong, right? Um, does it live up to the charm of its two leads? Let's find out. So in the film, we meet Cole, a slightly awkward farmer who one day, while working at the farmer's market, meets Sadie, who tells him she's an art curator. The the two fall head over heels for each other, and they go on a date. And then Sadie immediately starts ignoring Cole's text. So Cole, as some big romantic gesture, flies out to London to surprise her, only to get caught up in an international plot involving a bioweapon known as Aztec. So, with that premise, it's a fairly well-worn path, shall we say, you know, boy meets girl, they fall in love, girl turns out to be international super spy, or the other way around, Like, the point is, this narrative has been done countless times before, and considering Dexter Fletcher directed this, you'd think there'd be some kind of flair or energy, that would help this telling of it stand out. Unfortunately, not. This is a extremely derivative film, and it's so disappointingly so because it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not awful, but it's just so disappointingly mid. For instance, visually the film looks completely flat. You can tell this was made for streaming. It's remarkable how uninteresting this looks cinematography wise. This looks and feels like it's something that can be just sort of factory made by any studio yes man. But it kind of surprised me that this is from Dexter Fletcher, who among others directed Eddie the Eagle and Rocketman, films which have real energy and real heart. But this doesn't have that, and just feels like any run of the mill action comedy film. And this flat look extends to the actual world that the characters inhabit, because despite this being a globe-trotting film, it fair amounts that look and feel so obviously like they've been shot on green screens and sound stages. The amount of obvious digital backgrounds that I spotted during some of the action scenes. In fact, even during scenes where they're in a car, it sticks out so much. It's not as egregious as Love and Thunder, because that cost 250 million. I don't know how much this cost. It probably a lot as well, to be fair, but yeah, it's such a waste. Don't get me wrong, the action scenes are moderately entertaining, but they're not done with that yeah, level of craftsmanship you'd expect from something like Mission Impossible. Like, and then there is the comedy aspect. To the film's credit, there are some gags that did get some mild chuckles out of me. I kind of like the semi-recurring gag of Cole and Sadie needing to get a room, and the that one set piece with all the different bounty hunters, with the various surprise cameos. I rather liked it, and those do get some chuckles out of me. The problem is the gags hit rate. They miss a lot more than they hit, unfortunately. So so really, it's up to the leads to do the heavy lifting, and to their credit, they do have some charm to them. Like early scenes of them, like they have such an easygoing charm. You sort of wonder why they didn't just make a straight rom com. And it's weird because, like, yes, Anna de Armas is great. She sells the super spy stuff really, really well. Like you've seen Grey Man, you've seen No Time to Die. She can do this stuff. Chris Evans, on the other hand, feels kind of miscast because, like don't get me wrong, they were a charming enough pair, but see, I can't quite buy into the idea of Chris Evans being this like awkward G Shocks farm boy, like especially considering he's built, but problem is, even in the early scenes where he's like coming off quite awkward, like he's got too much of that like Captain America confidence about him. Like, and don't get me wrong, it would be way too easy to cast him as the villain here because, like, well, he's done that so well in his post Endgame output, and I get what they were going for here, having to play a role like a bit more down to earth, but it's the execution doesn't quite work. Meanwhile, we've also got this incredibly generic mustache twirling villain played by Adrian Brody doing this like ludicrous French accent. It's not as funny as Bill Skarsgård in John Wick 4. Just the way he says rules as wolves. There's none of that here, but his accent is just it's so like ridiculous and over the top. But yet it's not over the top enough. Like this could have been like a Jared Leto House of Gucci level performance, but it falls short of that, unfortunately. And also doesn't help that the character is just so incredibly generic and paper thin anyway. Like, I'm kind of struggling here because like even Lauren Balfe's score, and he's been on a rock solid streak lately with Black Adam, Tetris, Dungeons and Dragons. He's done a good job of of creating a wonderful vibe for all those films. But his score here feels so generic. Like I think that's just how I feel about this overall. It's generic. It's disposable consumer content made for the streaming age. You can watch. It's inoffensive, and you'll probably forget about it in a few days' time, which is such a shame because this could have been so much more. And yeah, like aside from the fairly easy charmers leads, some fun set pieces, a few decent gags, and some kind of fun needle drops, and some cameos that I did enjoy. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna remember this by the end of the weekend. And yeah, overall, I'm gonna give Ghosted a 5 out of 10. Like that's what it deserves. Like you'll look in the dictionary, you go into the 5 out of 10, and you will find this film. It's yeah. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Ghosted? What did you think of it? What did you make of the cameos? And of these, like disposable made for streaming action comedies, what you say would be like the best of them? Let me know all down in the comments. Don't forget to thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.